Hi everyone. So I decided I was gonna do some February, first half of February readings. That's my new kitty. His name's Monster. Boop boop boop. So I'll be starting off with you, Aquarius, because this is your time. So why not? Why not give you first dibs? You know. So let's pull a card to see what the general energies are like. I have a lot of pet drama going on. I have a very excited dog on the other side of the door because we've just introduced this kitten into our house. Um, so yeah, so pardon the animal stuff that's happening. It's an exciting time in this home. All right, so Sun, Moon, Rising Aquarius, or for those who have a major Aquarius in their chart, otherwise known as a stellium. The first card that came out, the general energy, Two of Swords. So with this, it's finally surrendering in a place where you felt like you've had to make a decision, you've had to make a choice. Perhaps you've been weighing the options back and forth, really kind of going over all of the details. Maybe resisting letting something go, or knowing what to let go, but being a little bit withheld, a little guarded because you didn't know what was next, or how to bring this new thing into form, how to really make this, make a way forward, right? And so by simply letting go, by offering yourself this chance to surrender, you're able to then realize that A, I don't need to make a choice right now, or B, the choice has already kind of been decided for me based off of who I am. Oh, it's 111 right now. Oh, so that's interesting. Let's see what else wants to come up. Maybe some of the protagonist energy. All right, and then we have the Five of Wands coming up next. So maybe it's been really, really a challenge figuring out how to get all the pieces to fit together. Perhaps you've been at a crossroads. Perhaps you're trying to take on more than you can reasonably chew or carry. Really trying to figure out how to make it all work. And I almost feel like to some degree, this is where you don't want to have to compromise, but in that you're compromising yourself in some way, by overcompensating, by really trying to just be like, well, if I can't choose, I want it all, right? And so with this Five of Wands coming up, it's really about, okay, you don't have to mash these pieces together. If something's not working, it's not working because there needs to be other space available. Because you don't know, you don't have all the information, you don't have all of the resources yet. More things are coming in for you, and it's necessary to create a little bit of space. Not everything's going to fit right because it's not supposed to. Not everything is going to come together in this way because it's not supposed to, and it's going to be much more difficult to move forward. See, and then we have this Four of Pentacles reversed. So it's like you got to be able to be available for whatever is coming next because you're going to want it. And if you take on too much, you're not going to be able to accept it. And it may create a challenge that you really don't need to put yourself through. Let's just say that. Underneath, we have the Strength card. There could be a little bit of insecurity. There could be a lot of energy needing to protect oneself, through their finances, through property, or just what you think, It's like there's a person that wants to play it safe. There's a person who wants to take risks kind of raging inside of you, right? There's, I feel like February is the energy of a threshold for a lot of us because it's that last stretch of winter, right? That last stretch of winter, we're not quite clear yet, on what is coming next, but we're a little worn out. We're feeling unsupported. We want to stretch our legs, right? But we're just really uncomfortable having to hibernate in this cave for another month. And so it's got us a little cranky. It's got us trying to control things, or it has us really focused on what's missing and what we want to bring into fruition through this, what we want to create the foundations for throughout the spring. Let's see what else we have here. And we have the Page of Swords. So it could be that maybe you're a little upset that, or maybe you feel like, what I'm getting here is that you're doing your best to kind of make things happen. You're really doing the most that you can and really playing with what's available, although it hasn't really felt like play in a while. And so maybe it's necessary to engage a sense of play here. There's some stuff you've been holding on to, some ways that you've been operating that are old and outdated, and it's created this pattern or this cycle for you where you feel perhaps overlooked, unseen, unheard. You're not really feeling worthy or deserving of certain things, maybe. Or maybe it's the other way. You do feel deserving and worthy of all of these things, but really focused on how other people are going to respond to it, if people are responding to it. And I feel like there's a need to really migrate from that state of being and move into a place of, again, really, really focusing on what you're creating for yourself. It needs to start with you creating for you. And so these things that you're trying to fit together, wherever you're trying to make a choice, why don't you just live it out first? Live out the highest ideal of what it is that you want. That way it's easier for you to incorporate and to receive whatever the universe has for you. It's like going and taking like a coffee break for a second. You got to recharge, you got to refuel, you got to get your heart back online. Perhaps a little bit of movement might be good. Perhaps a little bit of play might be good. If there's some type of thing that you practice, some type of discipline that you have or hobby that you have, getting more involved in that and allowing yourself to get kind of step away from some of the challenges that you're facing right now, because you're getting too deep into it. And again, that needing to kind of surrender. Also, I feel like maybe there might be someone approaching you who you may like brush off. Like, don't brush people off right now. Your ego may be getting in the way a little bit, thinking that you deserve more than what you have. And if someone's coming up to you and, wanting to share something with you, you may disregard it because you may not get it. You may feel like you're going to be held back, or that it's not really what you need, or that you're beyond that point. That's not the case, because we have the Hermit reversed here. And so it's like, don't act like you know it all. Do not act like you know it all whatsoever. And what's in here, we have the Seven of Pentacles, kind of like as some of that underlying energy. And it could just be like you're really conscious of where you're investing things, and perhaps you're a little bit too in your own energy, right? Perhaps you're a little too self-involved in some way, which is creating a way more resistance and way more agony and moving forward in some form or fashion. And you're actually creating a lot of the challenges that you're facing by adopting this kind of standpoint. It's like you want to feel good, you want to feel victorious, you want all these things, and you have a high self-esteem to some regard, but is it really founded in true self, like in true love, Is it really founded in love and enjoyment, or is it a way to kind of trick yourself to maintain the pressure, to maintain the motivation, to really kind of keep your guard up in order to keep moving through whatever it is that you're going through right now. And we have the Queen of Wands. It's like having a more relaxed approach in order to initiate things. Again, it's like that idea of spring, and it's necessary to be adaptable. You're gonna have to, progress is nonlinear, and it's almost like you're in this state of rigidity where things have to happen a certain way, and that's not the case whatsoever. You got to be willing to kind of loosen up a little bit, and enjoy the roller coaster, enjoy the ride. Things happen for a reason. Sometimes we're going back into a low part in order to view it from another angle. Maybe there's something we left there, like maybe there's something that we're retrieving. So if you feel like you may be moving backwards in some form or fashion, or if someone's approaching you that you feel like may not have the skill set or maybe not be at your level, there's always something to learn. Continue to be a student. That Hermit reverse card is definitely telling that too. It's like you can be as wise as you think you are, but things are constantly changing and morphing and shifting. I'm gonna pull some other cards here. Let's pull something for this Two of Swords. Okay, so we have, I believe this is the King of Swords. King of Swords here, King of Swords reversed on this Two of Swords. So this could just be lack of clarity, kind of taking action for action's sake, feeling like again, that pressure of feeling like you have to make a choice, but in some way you're interfering with the path ahead by trying to do too much. Or mulling over the options a little too much. And when we do that, we're creating more confusion. If you're having a hard time deciding to make a choice, it means you don't need to make a choice right now. It means you need to let stuff ride. It means that there's still information that has yet to unfold, and you got to just like sit and be part of that unfolding. Sometimes it's best to maybe distract yourself a little bit. All right, the next one out, we have the Knight of Swords with this 5 of Wands here. And so what this is telling me is like, you got to move from a place of being inspired. And if things aren't working out, there's some, it's like most people, it's like they walk away from their problems to gain some space, to gain some clarity, and that's when it hits them. It's like if you're thinking of a word or something and like you're like really pressured on it, but it's like a few minutes later after you continue the conversation, you remember exactly what it was. It's like that. So be willing to kind of simplify. Don't try to complicate things. Step away and allow simplicity to take the reins. Allow, the universe to kind of come in with that beautiful answer, response, what have you. We have the Ace of Wands here with the 4 of Pentacles. So it's like there's something that you want and the universe is willing to offer it to you. It's just a matter of, will you stop punishing yourself? Will you stop making this harder than it needs to be? You're doing too much. You're doing too much. You're too focused on it. You're creating a lot of tension where there doesn't need to be anything. And so whenever this thing does come in, if you're doing too much when it arrives, it's going to feel like punishment. You're going to be punishing yourself in some form or fashion. And you may end up losing something that is very valuable to you if you keep moving on in this way. All right, and then we have the 9 of Coins with the Page of Swords. And so with this 9 of Coins, what I'm feeling like is it's important for you to team up with someone. It's important for you, even if you don't team up with them, there's something you can learn, to be open to new friends, new friendship, new partnerships, even just a sharing or meeting of minds to some degree. Even if you two do not work together or you feel like this person has nothing to offer, just observe them, check out their work. I feel like they're probably someone who's going to inspire you. There's harmony there if you're willing to let it happen. Maybe there's going to be a little bit of a rough patch, maybe a little bit of discord between you two, but open up to that space with compassion. Choose your battles wisely. And, I think this person's really going to challenge your beliefs in some way. I had several cards fall out just now. I had 3 cards. So I'll go ahead and read all 3 of these cards. So with the Hermit, we have the Star card, the Wheel of Fortune, and interesting, we have these 6 of Wands, and they're like 2 nails on this card, which is interesting. So the Star, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 6 of Wands. So what I feel here is like there's something you really, really want, and you're trying to make things hurry up. You're trying to take the fast track. But that's just not going to happen because you're going to make a fool out of yourself if you do so. This is a very ego-driven path that you're taking right now, and you've got to be able to recognize maybe how you're adopting some of the energies of people you've walked away from in the past. And right now the roles are being reversed. Whoever's coming in is going to represent who you once were, and it may be really it would be really beneficial for you to observe them as another you. It's like this person of you from the past is kind of coming forth in another form in order to offer you something. It's a reminder, perhaps to help revitalize the path ahead. And it's necessary for you to offer that compassion as if they were you, because they can be leaving you with a gift. I very strongly feel like you'll be left with some type of gift from them. Let's see. Yeah, okay, so I'm pulling an oracle card. This is the Kaliilka Bronze Prophet Oracle set. And the other cards, the descriptions are down below, so feel free to check them out. Accept the seasons of your heart, pain. So you are opening up and releasing yourself into to really break away from some of the pain, some of the stuff you've been holding on to, and the ways it's unconsciously motivating you right now in your work. You've really pushed through a lot in order to prove something. maybe in order to prove someone wrong or yourself wrong to some degree. There's something that you've been carrying and has motivated you to get this far, but you don't need it anymore. Because in fact, it's at this point, it's to your detriment. So being able to come in with a beginner's heart, beginner's mind, once again, is going to be extremely beneficial to your success and your movement forward as you enter this new season. And I feel like this is throughout all February, not just the first half. But it's like no coincidence that we have, the Hallmark holiday, Valentine's Day, and one of the heaviest points of the winter, right? So yeah, that is what I have for you. I'd like to pull one more, if that's okay. I'd like to pull one from the bottom of the deck. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. Your joy is your sorrow unmasked. So whatever you feel like has been bringing you joy, figure out where the sorrow is that anchors it, that keeps it as part of your reality, that manifests all of these things that you feel like are happening to you or against you, and recognize, okay, what is that silent passenger that this joy is rooted in? Where was the seed first planted, and how can I sow something stronger, better, something that has a higher yield, something that I can really sustain myself on wholeheartedly, instead of creating some type of untouchable prize, something that's meant to be on display. Why can't it be something that's interactive and something that can truly be shared? Because it feels like whatever path you're on, it's been a very isolating path. It's something that's kept you really guarded, and it's had you feel really alone at times. And so it's necessary again for this beginner to come in and help really shift your perspective, and therefore shift the way that you work, the way you move through your work, the way you view yourself and your accomplishments, to offer you the validation that is always emanating from the soul, as well as instead of the validation that we crave and desire and feel unfulfilled in. So that is what I have for you, Aquarius. I hope that this was helpful for you. If you liked what you heard, please hit the like or subscribe button, or book a one-on-one session with me if you'd like to explore more. Again, the information for the cards are down below. Feel free to leave a donation if this resonated. Otherwise, check out Crosswatch. Check out any of the other signs, if sun, moon, and rising, Venus, even if you're looking for something along that love and relationship tip. Anyways, yeah, thank you so much. Bye.